Welcome back. You're still watching Channels Television. The program definitely is a question time. Mr. David Paradang, the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, is still here with us, and we've been really having a wonderful time looking at his rise as the Comptroller General of the NIS and some of the things that he's been doing so far. Now, before we went on the break, I asked you, or wanted to find out from you, what actually led to your decision to visit the airport command in Lagos. So what can you tell us about that?
My premium reason for going to visit the airport command is to look at what happens in our private terminals where the private aircraft come in. Security reports tell us that that is a weak link in the whole system, that some of the people that use private jets, when they alight from the aircraft, they prefer to be driven off straight from the aircraft, come off the aircraft to a waiting car, and they don't normally wish to subject themselves to immigration procedures. The immigration law says very categorically that if you arrive even at a point that is not covered by, that is not a control point where you don't have immigration officers, it is your responsibility to present yourself to the nearest immigration control post. It is not your responsibility to come into your car and drive off. So I went to check to see whether this is being done and to reinforce the fact that we should apply that law religiously. You know, Ayo, that the airport in Lagos is the premium entry point to Nigeria, is the face of Nigeria. Anybody coming to Nigeria would know what kind of country we operate from there. Are we serious-minded people? Are we people that are desirous of bringing investment in? Are we people that are conscious of our security? And I cannot sit here as Comptroller General of Immigration without reinforcing these things. I'm going to check that they are operational. That's why I went to airport in Lagos.
Now, you've been speaking quite extensively on the issue of the manning of our borders. Let's put it this way, still on the manned border issue. Are we really going to have an effective manning of our borders? Talking about the introduction of the automated entry and exit points. What can you say about this?
Thank you very much. And this is an issue really that we wish this interview were conducted at one of our border posts. You would see what we are asking government to help us achieve. Go to the average border post in Nigeria, and it will paint for you a picture of what happens in a village motor park. There is no structure. You will see, if you see a drum here and a stick there, that would be a good one. The best ones, they have thatched roofs. I'm telling you, some have thatched roofs, except for Idireko, Seme, the big ones that have buildings that are aged. We want to introduce, and government had already approved that there will be automated border plazas. The process has started to make it a PPP arrangement that will build standard automated border plazas in 3 phases. We have the mega ones, we have the medium ones and the small ones. We'll have mega ones in like Seme, Idiroko, Babamutum, Ilela, Mfum. We'll have big ones like that there. Then we have the mega ones, like medium ones in Mega 3, like the small border posts, Saying and Co. We have different small ones in those places. We want to, on a PPP basis, and you pass through. It will house all security agencies. It will have scanners on. It will have monitors too, for if anything, radar monitor. So if there are movements, it can be picked. We are heading towards that direction.
But it's a bit strange that even with a country such as ours, for several years we've gone on as a nation, and we're still having this challenge, being posed by the lack of the automated entry and exit points in this day and age. As a Comptroller General, what do you think is responsible for this?
Thank you very much. Like I told you a little bit earlier, it's about the men. If you have people who, before now, things were taken for granted, but no longer, we have to use our brains now. And I tell you, there's no better age for Nigeria than now. We have well-trained people. We have educated people. Before, maybe the average immigration officer would be a school cert or a teacher's certificate, but before now, the minimum we have must be a diploma, minimum. And these are people that have been through the best, and we have been engaged in several trainings by other agencies, inter-service cooperation. We have been to several countries. We have the ideas. The age of information is on. We have to see what is the best practice globally and implement them. So yeah, it's something that is a developmental issue, and now is the time. And I think we are at the right time. We should cross the boundary.
Now, for all its worth, we can't rule out the possibility or the fact that anywhere in the world, the issue of immigration service is something that really, really needs to be effectively carried out. And what am I talking about? That's the issue of best practices, global best practices, anywhere in the world. As it concerns Nigeria, what do you intend to bring to the table, to ensure that officers or staff and personnel measure up with their counterparts in other parts of the world? What collaborative efforts are you bringing to the table here?
Immigration practice globally depends on collaboration with other countries, and we do get to receive assistance from them. We have severally received document fraud training from different countries of the world in trying to make sure that we give a uniform standard globally of best practices. We have with Netherlands, with Spain, with Germany, with the UK, with US. They train several of our officers on document fraud. Some are coordinated by IOM, and they have even built up for us document fraud laboratories here in the headquarters in Abuja here, at Lagos, that people can check documents, passports particularly, to see whether they are forged or they have been tampered with. But apart from these trainings too, we want to make sure we have among the best global standards, best practice globally. And in terms of electronic passenger registration systems at the airport, we are up to what happens in any airport in the world now. We have such equipment in all the 4 international airports in Nigeria. We have in Abuja here, we have at Kano, we have in Port Harcourt, we have at Lagos. What you can see in an average airport in the UK, in the US, you present your passport before an immigration officer. He passes it through a scanner. It takes your information, sends it to the database. If you are clear, nothing shows up, nothing pops up. If you are on the database as having a problem, we call you aside and try to verify all those things. That is the global best practice that we are implementing. And we are going to extend that to the land borders too. So we are heading towards that direction. This is what is happening. And that's a very key thing for us in Nigeria. This electronic passenger registration system that we have already installed has helped severally. We can generate information about your movement now. We want to know how many times you have traveled out of Nigeria in a week or in a year, 2013, 2012. At the touch of a button, we supplied. And these things have a very significant security importance. We would like to know where you are going. We would like to know whether you are going to areas of threat. We'd like to know whether you are going to areas that are centers for drugs. We'd like to know whether you are going for areas where there are terrorist training camps. You can generate such information about where you are going, and with your pictures and everything on it. So we are among the best of the best in that area.
Mr. Paradang, can you tell us what are the new additions to the new visa policy? The expatriate quota, and of course the issue with the Chinese business men and women. Quite a lot has been said about them and their activities.
The new visa policy had the objective of attracting foreign investment to the country. We want to make sure that Nigeria is a destination, a preferred destination for direct foreign investment by making our processes more friendly, more acceptable, that can guarantee you coming to the country. We want to make sure that we are a destination for tourism. We want to assure people globally that we are a secure destination for people to come in. The new additions are targeted at these areas. Now, for direct foreign investment, we made provisions, like let's say sweet provisions for investors. We want to get those people to come into Nigeria by our new visa policy. But the total package of all this will depend. People will only come to your country if they are sure it's a secure destination. We don't want to open the gates for just anybody. So the first thing we did in the visa policy was to build a database we have a database of people that are admissible and not admissible electronically. So we started with that. Then we're open now. We've been receiving people who are businessmen in the new visa policy, and the reports are very encouraging.
Now, obviously, we can't forget the National Assembly members. Since you came on board, I'm sure you must have had one or two dealings with them, in trying to tell them what exactly is going on within the Nigerian Immigration Service. Can you let us into the relationship you have with them? Are there challenges that you have been opportune to discuss with them, and if so, what are the assurances you've gotten from them?
Yeah, the National Assembly, they are our supervisors. Most of them have an interior, and generally we engage positively and often with all of them. They want to see that the country is run according to laws, which is something that is mutually beneficial to all of us. We've been to several of the invitations they have given to us. They have come here for oversight functions, and we are engaging them too, because the law is the basis for everything that you must do. If you do it outside the law, you are not going to achieve any purpose. We realized that, and the National Assembly, we went to them. Mr. President sent an executive bill to them about the Nigerian Immigration Service, the new immigration bill that we have gone through public hearing, gone through committee readings and what have you, that we hope they will pass when they resume from recess. We engage very positively and constructively with them, and we have no problem with our relationship with them at all. We want to ask them to support us in our programs by getting more funding for us to be able to do our jobs better.
Now, Mr. Paradang, it's been like 3 months since you came on board as the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service. And I wonder, with your busy schedule, having to work almost on a daily basis, how do you still cope with the family life, members of the family? How do they react, to your everyday, should I say, running around, when you have to do what is needed to be done?
It's not the same again. Definitely not the same again. And it has changed. I'm essentially a very private person that likes to be with my wife and children. But now, even if I go home, I have a lot of work doing. I'm picking calls, I'm doing the paperwork, and but I enjoy Saturdays. I devote it totally to my family. I have a lazy breakfast with them, chat with them, and take that day. If I have any work to do in the evening, I'll go to do it. But I try to give time, because I must go back to them after this job. And they are very key to the success of the whole venture. If I don't have a good home, certainly I cannot produce. And I enjoy my home. I like it.
Well, I guess that's all our time will permit us. Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Mr. David Paradang. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much for spending time with us on Question Time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
Let's partner together to make Nigeria a better society.
The road to having an effective Nigerian Immigration Service is one that will certainly require the professionalism of the Comptroller General and his entire team. The service, which was born in 1963 by an Act of Parliament, is in dire need of repositioning, no doubt, that will serve the interests of Nigerians and foreigners in the country alike. Hopefully, officers and men of the service will continue to do the nation proud in terms of keeping our borders safe and ensuring that, most importantly, illegal immigrants residing in Nigeria will be flushed out. That's our package for this week. Remember to send us your questions, comments and suggestions to questiontime@channelstv.com, or you can watch online as well, also via channelstv.com. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Until next week, it's bye for now.